Next on the Best of John Miller, a man who's up to speed on a NASCAR legend. He eats and sleeps everything about Jeff Gordon. Also, he went through lots of cushions on the way. John introduces us to a man who traveled cross-country on a riding lawnmower. Plus, a Treasure Valley musician who doesn't quite hit all the right notes anymore, but her playing is right on key with folks at one retirement home. And a runaway pig gets in trouble with the law. That's coming up just ahead.
Discover the lighter side of Northwest living as Idaho's News Channel 7 presents the Best of John Miller.
Welcome to another edition of the Best of John Miller. I'm David Augusto, and we're going to start it off tonight with, did you ever have an idol as a teen? Maybe you had the face of that idol plastered all over your room. I know back from my day, Joe Montana, Magic Johnson come to mind. John introduces us to a man who takes the idol worship thing to an extreme.
You can disregard the parking for Jeff Gordon fans sign because the biggest Jeff Gordon guy,
the most extreme race fan,
is already parked there, where Jeff Gordon Drive and Jeff Gordon Boulevard intersect in Dennis O'Keefe's kitchen and run right on into his rec room.
I just think it's one of the coolest sports there is.
In fact, you can take basketball, bowling, and golf. In Dennis's house, it all adds up to number 24. Dennis lives Jeff Gordon, breathes Jeff Gordon, eats Jeff Gordon cereal.
This is your box of Jeff Gordon Jacks.
Unopened.
Frosted mini Jeffs and Fritos, all his favorites.
I have no one possession.
He is a man of socks, cars, toys, and clothing.
That's all I wear.
No way, really?
Yeah.
So how many of these shirts do you have?
Oh, I probably got about 20.
You have like 14 roommates, and they're all Jeff Gordon.
Oh, yeah. This used to be a 3-bedroom house.
Right.
But I tore this wall down.
Now that could decrease the value of the house.
But I don't care. I'm not moving.
Right.
Not until Jeff hires me.
Yeah, you're not moving. You know why? Because then you'd have to pack all this back up.
Used to be my living room.
Right. Somewhere under here, there's a living room.
Not to be confused with the dining room.
Do you miss your dining room?
No.
Yeah, there's no going back now, is there?
Oh, no, it's all forward.
Figuring if you've got to go, you've got to go.
You're going to go to the most famous NASCAR bathroom in the world.
Now, this is a standard NASCAR roll cage.
Swing the steering wheel around.
What's that for?
And then you just grab this and you pull it back. That's when you're done. You're good to go.
It makes perfect sense. If I'm going to have the NASCAR house, I got to have the NASCAR roll cage toilet.
You got it.
With the flushing handle.
Well, it need to go fast. It's right there.
Dennis hoping someday the king of NASCAR, Jeff Gordon, will sit on this throne, and when he does,
I think he's going to dig it.
Wow. I wonder if Jeff would like to visit there someday. Maybe, maybe not. Keeping the sports theme going, mark your calendars for October 2020. That's when you should see Michael John Bubba Shepherd stepping up to the plate in the World Series if his parents have anything to say about it. Luckily, they took some time out of their toddler's major league training schedule to pitch John Miller his story.
Where's your ball and bat?
How long does it take to get him from here to home plate?
Not very long.
and it only takes 20-month-old Michael John Shepherd one swing to warm up, or two, or three. And then, look out.
Good job!
If you tee one up for him.
You better move your fingers quick. Good job! We just try to encourage him with a lot of praise. Oh, almost. Try it again. Woo! Good job!
So, how long could this go on?
Forever, I guess. Woo!
You see, Michael John's got a lot of power.
Woo!
When he isn't swinging for the fences, he's swinging from them. Never really learned to walk.
He's been on a dead run pretty much ever since he figured out how to use his feet. That's another thing he just started, was his sliding.
Whoa, hey!
Though he still understands this kind a whole lot better. And if he can't get the ball over the fence one way, he always finds another.
Nope.
No. Oh, okay. Well.
Not to mention his throwing.
He's a natural.
Yeah.
He has about one word that I've recognized in his vocabulary.
Ball. Ball.
Yeah.
Which he smacks all day long.
Wow, even when there's no ball there.
Yeah. Woo! Good job, Bubba.
Bubba?
Bubba, nickname.
Nickname. It's a good baseball name, huh?
Yeah. Now that I think about it.
She might think about it for about 20 years when Michael John Bubba Shepherd swings for the big leagues.
Oh, I hope I'll see him in the World Series.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's a pretty neat kid.
Michelle says Michael John has only gotten away from her once for just a few seconds. She found him in the loft above the garage, probably playing with his baseball. Now, back in 2000, Gary Hatter cut a path through Boise and a better part of the United States. In the process, he set a world record. On the way, he met up with our John Miller.
What is this thing?
It's a riding lawnmower.
Gary Hatter's nonstop ticket into the Guinness Book of World Records.
Where'd you start? I started in Portland, Maine.
Guess it's better than taking a push mower across the country, huh?
Well, that's true. And Idaho here makes my 36th state so far.
So what's the world record?
The world.
Guess that would be now, huh?
Yeah, that would be now.
8,600 miles. Doubling the old distance record on a riding mower. Gary's past 5 Mile Road and then some.
Today is my 136th consecutive day of doing this.
So, have you had any run-ins with the law?
A couple hundred times at least.
Cops have pulled you over.
Yeah, they pulled me over for various reasons.
Yeah, but I'll bet not one of those reasons was speeding.
No, I haven't got any speeding tickets yet.
So, why are you doing this?
Well, I'm doing this actually to raise money for a third back operation. I had a doctor that took the wrong disc out of my back. I decided that I needed to do something to raise some money, and this is the idea I came up with.
Wouldn't a lawsuit just be easier?
Well,
believe it or not, his lawsuit failed. So now Gary's taking the hard road, the interstate. So how are you making money doing this?
Well, I'll tell you what, I didn't have a very good plan when I left about raising money.
8,600 miles later, he still doesn't.
Oh, I'll tell you what, it's been to say the least, and
it's about as exciting as a 9-mile-an-hour trip can be, huh?
Yeah, I think you summed it up pretty well.
Shredding his way toward 14,000 miles, or back surgery, I guess, whichever comes first. For now, Gary Hatter will mulch off into one more sunset, 1 milepost at a time.
I'm getting there slow but sure.
Now, we actually spoke with Gary Hatter just recently. In all, the trip into the record book took 260 days. He says he rode his lawnmower over such landmarks as the Golden Gate Bridge, the Hoover Dam, and through the Lincoln Tunnel. And by the way, he still has the lawnmower. It works. Now, it's a grown-ups version of a crystal radio. Find out why one Boise man decided to create his own TV station. And next, meet Gertie Bollinger. She didn't let blindness put an end to her piano playing. That's music to the ears of some people. Coming up. Welcome back to the Best of John Miller. Now, senior centers can be sometimes lonely places, but that's not the case at Hillcrest. As John shows us, they get an invaluable dose of good spirit pretty much every day.
Sometimes you put faith in a story and a person as soon as you hear their name.
My name is Gertie Bollinger.
Anytime.
Ready?
Yep. Gertie Bollinger's been playing the piano for a long time.
It'd be about 80 years, almost. I like playing anywhere.
Even facing the wrong way, which seemed kind of funny, but lately, that's been the least of Gertie's problems.
I can't play it very well anymore. No, that wasn't it. Well, if I could see them better, I could get along with them a lot better. Oh.
It seems after 80 years of piano and 1 year of blindness, Gertie's lost sight of more than just the keys.
No, I can't do it.
That's okay.
Perhaps it takes people of similar experiences to understand Gertie's frustration, which is probably why she returns here every day.
I think Gertie's wonderful.
Yeah?
What would you do without her?
We enjoy her very much.
Done a very good job.
You're lucky to have such a talented person here.
That's right. You don't find many of them.
There you go.
How's that feel?
Yeah, that's better.
Maybe it takes 80 years to learn. Practice doesn't always make perfect, but sometimes the faith of your friends can turn you around.
Well, I can't see my friends. I just see somebody sitting there. I can't see who they are. But I'm happy that they're here.
Great story. Gertie told John she started losing her sight back in 1996. She said her playing's deteriorated ever since, but luckily she has a very patient crowd. Still ahead, John meets a swine in a bind. This little piggy went wee, wee, wee when it got caught escaping from its home. And next, don't like what's on TV? If you're like one Boise man, you could start your own TV station. We get an update on the Homemade Channel when the best of John Miller continues. We're back, and most of us don't have a problem operating our television set, just pretty much click away. But have you ever dreamed of operating your own TV station? Lowell Martin has, and that dream could soon become a reality. As John shows us, all it takes is a little know-how and a lot of megahertz.
So there we were, Andy and I, at the house with this thing sticking out the roof, and this is exactly how it happened. First of all, your name is?
Lowell Martin.
So what do we got going on here?
Well, I do amateur television.
What channel?
Channel 57.
Which looks like this now, but you just wait. So all you really need is a license?
Just a license and a small transmitter and a handy cam. A small transmitter runs about 1 watt, that's all you need to uplink, and a small beam antenna on our repeater frequency input, which is 1.2 gigahertz.
1.2 gigahertz.
Mm-hmm.
That's approximately equivalent to what?
Well, it's 1200 megacycle.
What's a metacycle then?
A megacycle is 1,000,000 cycles.
Okay.
Okay.
Thought we got that cleared up. You built that?
Yeah, I built this one.
And how did you know how to do that?
Well, you build them from plans, schematic diagrams.
I think I have one just like it in my kitchen, actually.
You probably do.
So Lowell, you're going to be like the chief engineer, host, camera operator, editor, producer, director.
All of those things.
So will this TV station eventually have 3 letters like KTVB?
Well, we're thinking of the call letters like K7 IRS.
K7 IRS, the tax channel.
Right.
Starring Lowell Morton.
Anyone can do this. Absolutely. Anybody.
And Channel 57, not there right now, but
it will be there.
Just wait.
Yeah, just wait.
Lowell tells us the station is not on the air right now. He did move, and he's building a studio next to his apartment. He says he hopes to put the station back on the air sometime very soon. And by the way, he says most of the programming on Channel 57 will be educational. Pretty good. Still ahead, they're the fathers of the Broncos. Meet the men responsible for Boise State's orange and blue. That's after we meet a bull-headed hog. Fred the pig gets in a little trouble after escaping in the neighborhood time and time again. Welcome back. I love John Miller's animal stories, so here we go. If you think it's a pain when your pet runs away, wait till you meet Fred the pig. As John shows us, old Fred runs away so often, his owners had a run-in with the law.
He's a loner. He's kind of a grumpy old man, but he's pretty easy to get along with.
And now, Sherry Dunham's large pig is a pig at large, a ham on the lamb after flying the coop for the 10th time. Then he got picked up by the Humane Society.
They brought him here and they cited me for having a pig at large.
A pig at large?
They wrote me a ticket, pig at large.
So Fred's living in the pen, but he may be going to the slammer, huh?
Yeah, ham in the slammer.
Ham in the slammer. Maybe Denny's will name a breakfast after it or something.
Yeah.
Whatever you call it, they say it's a bum ramp.
Bum something, huh, Fred? Fred has rights.
Fred has urges is what Fred has.
You know, some people think he's looking for a girl.
Yeah.
But he has a wife right over here. Irma, come here. See, she is in all her beauty.
Fred's also got the rooster and, of course, the goats, but Sherry thinks, and don't tell Irma, that Fred has the hots for some horses up the road. But on this day, Fred wouldn't budge.
So what do you think this means?
He's a reformed pig.
I see.
Yes.
So while Fred munches his milk bones, Sherry ponders her plea.
I'm going to say not guilty.
Free Fred.
Yeah, free Fred. Free his owner. Maybe he won't do it again.
Yeah, fat chance.
Better get used to these bars here, Fred.
Fred just doesn't look like he can move very fast. I don't know if I understand. It's not so unusual to see animals at the Western Idaho Fairgrounds, sheep, horses, cows. But what about dogs? John shows us this rough crowd.
At an event like this, there's pageantry and competition and lots of funny-looking contestants running around.
And a lot of egos and a lot of politics.
Oh, and there are dogs, too. Big drooling ones and kissing ones and small yippy ones and Lady and the Tramp and the Shaggy DA and all kinds of little ankle-biter dust mops. Now, a lot of people have probably told you Molly's kind of a funny-looking dog.
Mm-hmm.
But you say, hey, just leave me and my little pig dog alone.
Yeah, just leave me and my little pig dog alone.
Then they all run in circles, and if they do it really well, they get a treat. Ew. I notice sometimes you even give it to the dog, because I've seen you guys eat them. I've seen it. You know, I see when people don't know that people are looking. I've seen people sneak a little bite there.
The chicken maybe, but not the liver.
Well, we both enjoy it.
Yeah, we share them.
Oh, man. What am I eating?
It's ground up parts.
Ground up parts?
Parts is parts. Woohoo!
Did you win?
We won.
You won.
We won.
That's worthy of some parts right there. Now, what's this called? This is called weaving?
This is the weave poles, right?
The weave poles.
Right.
Now, did you see the video from the Dog Olympics the other night?
I think I caught the tail end of it.
You got the one dog, and he jumps over the stuff, and he goes through the poles, and then he does the through the tube, and then you get the next one comes up, and he does a little jump in, and then he does a jump again, and then he goes into what we call the weave and relieve.
That's right. I did see that.
What do you do in that situation?
I think I'd say, can we leave now? And I think I'd excuse myself.
Right. And excuse me.
There you go.
Ever wonder about Boise State's colors or mascot? When the Best of John Miller returns, we meet the men who brought the orange and blue to Boise State back in the days of black and white. Die-hard Bronco fans may have the answer to most trivia questions, but what about this one? Do you know who came up with the Boise State colors of blue and orange? John Miller actually has the answer.
That old blue is blue, isn't it? That is blue.
And if Preston Hale and Owen Sproat hadn't been around way back when, things around here would probably look a lot different today.
What was the year?
1932. We only had one little building. Now, what it hold, 60 people? At the most. About 60 people. Well, after we decided we were going to have a football team, we decided we better have a college color and we better have a college mascot.
Especially in a time when everything seemed so black and white. But Owen, number 9, and Preston, number 12, were a couple scrapping young fellas with some bright ideas.
We decided on orange and blue because there were no orange and blue combinations in the area at all. And there were no Broncos either. So we chose the Broncos.
And you come to a track meet like this and you still see people wearing those same colors.
Oh, yeah.
What's that like?
That's great.
Did you ever imagine that now you'd be seeing bumper stickers and logos and AstroTurf?
Not in our wildest dreams, no.
There is no finer choice made in the city of Boise for those colors.
It's awfully bright. You can't miss it.
They did a pretty good job, you think?
Yeah, I think they did a pretty good job.
So, do they?
It is absolutely fantastic.
And it's fitting, after 65 years, the colorful ideas of two colorful guys are still flying high and flying by.
I think it'll last forever.
Now, how about this? Before blue and orange, the uniforms were actually red and white. They got them secondhand from Boise High. Back then, Boise State was Boise Junior College, and nice that they got their own colors now. Remember when Tickle Me Elmo was the rage, or the Furby, or Cabbage Patch Dolls? Well, John shows us another toy craze, one you may have forgotten about, the Tamagotchi.
The Tamagotchi display works something like a piece of flypaper. Anyone who gets too close seems to get stuck.
What the heck is this?
It's a cyberspace pet, came from outer space, and basically you are the pet's parent. You have to feed him, you have to play with him. You can't neglect him or else he'll grow up looking ugly if you take care of him. Grows up into a beautiful chicken and flies back to cyberspace.
A beautiful chicken. That's it in a nutshell. Or an eggshell, actually. A virtual reality toy that eats virtual food.
He's full, he's not hungry at all.
Cries virtual tears.
It even wets.
No.
Well, in its own little cyber way, it does.
Okay.
So if I'm driving down the road, I got one of these things in my car. All of a sudden it starts crying or it has to potty or something like that. I got to stop my car, get out.
Yeah.
For $20, I'll pass.
But even those who pass can't resist one last look. Ed Schultz picked one up for his 11-year-old daughter.
Then it might even actually teach her something.
She's got to flush the toilet for this thing.
I saw that on here. Flush the toilet, take care of health needs, discipline.
Oh, he's mad.
Yeah, he's a little bit upset about it, but it keeps him in line.
So if this sucker dies, you're out $20.
Well, you can reset the game and start over.
That'll do it for now. We'll see you again next week as we experience more of the best of John Miller. See you later.
Cue up the banjo music.
Idaho!